Bonjour tout le monde. Aujourd'hui, on va parler du passé composé, oui, qui devrait être familier depuis l'année passée et même l'année avant ça. Mais aujourd'hui, on va juste faire un petit survol du passé composé pour vous rappeler ce que vous avez déjà appris. Alors, when we talk about past tenses, les temps du passé, so far we know le passé composé, l'imparfait. There are others. We will learn them, but not today. Today we're just going to look at le passé composé. Ding! So, passé composé is a composed tense. Composé, composed. That means it's made up of two parts. L'auxiliaire, which we also call the helping verb in English, and le participe passé, which looks more like the verb as you're used to seeing it. So, les verbes réguliers have regular past participles. Oui, so ER verbs end in et, manger, danser. IR verbs end in I, fini, choisi. And RE verbs end in U. So j'ai vendu, j'ai attendu. Oui. And of course there are irregular verbs as well. Oui. Par exemple, eu, été, fait, ouvert, pris, mis, suivi, su, connu, dit et lu. Oui. And these, you might hear some similar patterns. A lot of them end in U, a lot of them end in E or an E sound. But these you do have to memorize. And the good thing is you probably already memorized most of these last year. Or you should have. Right? So we also have écrit, pu, vécu, bu, cru, vu, voulu, dû, tenu, et reçu. So again, a lot of U sound with a little bit of E in there for variety. Oui. Now, that's your participe passé. Let's talk about the auxiliaire for a minute. We have two options for the auxiliaire, and the most common of those is avoir. Oui. Same conjugations as always. J'ai, tu as, il a, elle a, on a, nous avons, vous avez, ils ont, elles ont. And then the participe passé. So if we took the verb parler, we would have j'ai parlé, tu as parlé, il a parlé, etc., etc. And what's important to notice is that when you're using avoir, you never have to change your participe passé. It is always exactly the same. So if you know avoir, which you should, and you know your participe passé, which you should, the passé composé with avoir is easy as pie, an easy pie at that, right? Now, when you do negation, bear in mind, we do a ne pas sandwich, just like always, but we put it around the auxiliaire, oui? So instead of saying je ne ai parlé pas, we would say, oh, je n'ai pas étudié le passé composé au collège, par exemple, oui? Take a pause, turn your page, essayez les exercices. I want you to do at least 12 of these. Any 12, give them a try. Pause the video, I'll wait. Okay, I won't wait that long. Unpause when you're ready. Now let's talk about les verbes avec être, verb taking être as their helping verb. These are less common than the avoir verbs in terms of how many of them there are, but they're arguably more important to know, both because they're rare and also because these are very common verbs that we use a lot. They tend to be basic verbs of motion: going, coming, turning, staying, or change of state. Verbs to be born or to die are the two big ones there. Oui? And you can remember them by remembering Dr. Mrs. Vandertramp, or Dr. Mrs. P. Vandertramp, if that's how you prefer things. Or you can do the House d'être, La Maison d'être. Now, how many of you remember the song from last year? I don't know, but can I embarrass you in front of Mr. Morgan by getting you to sing along with me? We're gonna see, because aller, arriver, venu, revenu, entrer, rentré, entré, descendu, devenu, sorti, parti, resté, retourné, monté, tombé, né et mort et passé. Yeah. Pause, write them all down. Okay, so you might have noticed that some of those were irregular. That I said, for example, venu instead of venir. I was singing the participe passé. With a verb like aller, you can't hear the difference between aller and aller. But with venir, venu, you can hear it. The two that are irregular that you really want to keep an eye out. Well, so venir, venu, devenir, devenu, revenir, revenu, bien sûr. Oui. But also mourir, mort. Je suis mort, I am dead. Oui. Naître, je suis né. Those are the ones you really want to keep an eye out for because those are the weird ones. Oui? Now, when you do the passé composé with être, you have to think about l'accord du passé composé. An accord, as you know, is agreement, and it has to match, so your participe passé has to match your subject in gender by adding an E if it's feminine, or in number by adding an S if it's plural. And what that means is that Marie est allée with two E's, but Marc est allé. So you're just sticking it right on to your regular participe passé. And the thing is, you can't actually hear the difference between Marie est allée and Marc est allé. You can't hear the difference on the verb at all. Les filles sont sorties, les garçons sont sortis. You can't hear that S. It's just there when you write the E, rather. You can't hear the E or the S. None of it's audible in the least bit. Except with the word mourir. So je suis mort versus je suis morte. Or, since I would not be likely talking about my own death, il est mort versus elle est morte. You can hear that difference. But other than that, speaking, you're home free and clear. You don't have to worry about pronouncing it, although you should still do it when you write. The other category that takes être are les verbes réfléchis, which we've spent a ton of time on recently. They're rad. We love them a lot. And all reflexive verbs will take être. Okay, so we always, so je me suis levée with an E if I'm a girl, without an E if I'm not. Je ne me suis pas levée. The ne and the pas go around the me suis. We add a reflexive pronoun onto our auxiliary verb. Oui? And we always do accord unless there's a body part. So we would say Sarah s'est réveillée. We do an accord there for Sarah. Ensuite, elle s'est brossé les dents. We don't have to accord there because there's a direct object after it. Usually that's a body part. We'll come upon some other cases where that's not the case later, but we don't have to worry about those for right now. So what you want to remember is reflexive verbs all take être. They're going to accord if there's no body part or no direct object. They're not going to accord when there is a body part or direct object afterwards. Oui? And that is it. What we are going to do now, you're going to practice a couple more. Turn the page. You've got some être exercises, and I want you to do at least 10 of the exercises on that page. Any 10, more if you're feeling adventurous. And we will talk about these tomorrow in class. So merci beaucoup et je vous verrai demain. Ciao, ciao.